Look at that. It's your little friend. Let's watch them die together, shall we? No! It's game over for both of you. Just for me. I'm bad. That's good. I will never be good, and that's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than me. No. Good afternoon, evening, or whatever. It is 18 September. Let's get that where and how it belongs and get this shit show on the road. Oof. What the hell happened? This is what happens when you don't practice in advance. Let's see if we can maybe fix that a little bit. Yeah. All right. Hey, Macy. You just heard the last call for boarding. So, this is my first one. A little update from last week. I was kind of railing a little bit about how my boss had changed the rules of employment. That now everybody has to work 12 hours. They had been threatening to lay some of us off, and now everybody has to work 12 hours. In like barely 36 hours, that kind of turnaround. Well, no. There was multiple breakdowns in communication. Some of it was the owner's fault. Some of it was the owner's fault. Some of it was the factory manager's fault. Some of it was our own fault, right? The commoners like me. So he, the owner, had to come up from Vegas. Yeah, another reason to love Vegas. But anyway, he did. He came up from Vegas and explained it to us. Yes, he did send the email announcing that 12-hour shifts would be starting. And he attached a file, copy and paste with everybody's name in the appropriate place. for a beautiful letter of recommendation. We all interpreted that as we're going to be fired if we don't take these 12 hours. Well, I had to throw a bit of a temper tantrum to be here last week, although it turned out I didn't throw nearly as big of a temper tantrum as I thought. The factory manager had already kind of tried to stall. This isn't going to happen. Let's rethink this. I'll cover for you, Carrie. Oh, really? You were already covering for me? Well, thank you. And then he came up and he explained it to us. Yeah, 12 hours is happening. That's already been done. When we can sell out of inventory in 12 hours, sell out an inventory in 12 hours that we hadn't sold out in 6 months during the pandemic, that's a sign. That's a sign things really, really changed. And it is what it is. That's it. Yes, the 12-hour things is going to happen. He was not aware of my unique situation. So, okay, well, you know what? No, you're not going to be doing the 12 hours on Wednesdays. The rest of the week, yes. Today I had to do 10 hours, which is why I also had to roll it back 15 minutes. Starting next week, it's Wednesday at 8 hour. The rest of the week is 12. Does that tell you how upset and concerned people got and how fast they got there? Tells me everything I needed to know about that situation. This is Jungling Oktoberfest there, Macy. To get here on time today, like I said, I had to roll it back 15 minutes and I literally just walked in the door about 30-ish minutes ago. I had enough time to shit, and that was it. All right. That bad. But the good news is I'm not fired. Nobody's fired. Nobody's getting fired anytime soon. But yeah, people are so upset about this situation that they bought out our inventory in 12 hours. That's a clue. Give me a second, guys. This is beginning to bug me a little bit. I don't know about you. I don't know if you can actually see that or not at home. But anyway. Yeah, that's better. Okay. I would like to make a request that everybody say a prayer for Luke. Nobody's heard from him in about a month. He is not responding to messages. He's not responding to anything. I don't know what's become of him. I'd like y'all to say a prayer for his health and safety. The description says that the first subject is going to be that doctors at a Isræli university treated a Hamas fighter during the crisis last week. I did say Luke. That hasn't actually changed. The situation, as best as I understand it, is this. A man came into the university. He was injured. I don't know if he brought himself in or he was carried in. Does not matter to me. He was treated to the best of the doctor's ability and stopped. Okay. You know what? Good. Doctors treat sick and injured. They don't play politics. They don't get to pick winners and losers based on who they like or don't like. Good. That was awesome of them. I salute you. He was then transferred to a military hospital. Well, yeah, all right. Whether they wanted to send him that direction or not, I don't care. That was the right direction to send him. While I was sitting on the toilet shitting, Tactical Dude, one of the followers from Failure to Stop's channel, had posted something to Discord, various camera views of the attack. If you saw the footage I saw, you wouldn't be incensed. You'd be disgusted beyond human understanding. One in particular that absolutely blows my mind. A white vehicle looked like it looked like a BMW, to be honest. But that might be because there were a lot of BMWs variously throughout the video. Is pulling up to a yellow gate. The camera is from the driver's, is off to the driver's left and up. So the camera is looking down and to the left. You can see the Hamas terrorists just blindly shoot the car. No particular reason other than it was there. Somehow the driver had been opening the gates as they ambushed him. So now the gate is open and they're going through it. You know what came next. Don't pretend you don't. If you have any false illusions about who the good guys or bad guys here are, that video by itself should be enough to set you straight. I should have done this earlier. Now, I'm not going to play that on my channel. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to give Apple an excuse to shut the stream down, to shut the channel down. No, it's not going to happen, Apple. I know that's your wet dream come true, but no. Yeah, evil ensued there, Macy. The link is in the channel. Right, the link is in the stream. And if nothing else, there it is. I gotta take that back. This is something beyond evil. This would be a horror porn film if it were fictional. Right? This is literally real life version of Saw, a film so disgusting that I was only able to watch about 5 seconds of it.
And I know how one scene plays out. I didn't actually see that scene. I just happen to know how it plays out. For the record, the scene I referred to that I know how it plays out is the hacksaw scene. And the one scene I actually did see apparently is the opening scene of the first film, where there's circular saws embedded in the bulkhead. I got a real hard clue as to what kind of film that was just from that one scene. I was done. It's a strange irony. I'm okay with watching the Hamas attacks, even though I know exactly, yes, this is what's happening, because that's reality. And I can grieve for the victims, and I can feel bad about it, but I'm okay with that. And the fictionalized one just was disgusting, and I couldn't finish it. Shut up, Shadow. Liked, commented, told Carrie to fuck himself. Did my part. Will try to be back. Shut the fuck up, Shadow. No, Macy. Tell him to shut up. Apparently, that's what he likes, right? Shadow likes being told to shut up. I like being called a kike and knicker faggot. Fixed Bayonets likes being called a whore. Okay, it's just the way the world is. Everybody's a little bit mentally ill, apparently. Except you. Apparently, Macy's the only normal person on Earth. Where was I? Macy points out that the attack was very well planned out. It was supremely well planned out. And something that I saw a couple days ago, I was so disgusted by this that I couldn't bring myself to follow up. I should have. And I can't do it. Some guy somewhere on TikTok, so that tells you a lot, it starts floating absolutely disgusting and completely irresponsible conspiracy theory. All he said was, I have to ask the question, was there a stand down order? All right. The absolute implication, it's the absolute statement here. It's not even an implication, it's a statement. All right. It's an accusation, is that the Israelis let it happen because it would affect something else that they wanted. And that 1,200 dead Israelis was worth it. Sorry, guys. I slipped back to 9/11 there for a second. Yes, that was actually irresponsible. Criminally irresponsible. Not because no stand down order was issued. It's because it's the same stand down order that's been issued every year for the last 15 years. They're going into a holiday. They send troops home if they aren't needed immediately to stand watch. All right. I did this when I was active duty. We called it rolling 72s. The idea is for 72 hours, you better have your butt away from the boat. All right. Or else. But then every 72 hours, you're supposed to show up and show your face so that they can say, okay, yeah, Seaman Carey's still alive. Chief, the MKC is still alive. The BMC is still alive. The captain's still alive. All right. All of these people, they're all still alive, right? We know because we saw their faces. a lot of us would cheat and call in. Oh, hey, yeah, and this was me, by the way. Yeah, it's scary. Do I really need to come down? You know, because it's snowing. Oh, great. But you heard my voice, so yeah. You know what? I'll be in. I'll be in. Yeah, thanks. Bye. And that was it. Meanwhile, I was stationed in Lower Peninsula, Michigan. I might have been like southern side of Ohio. Yeah, you know. Hey, Rob. It did not take me 72 hours to get out of the rack. It took me about 20 seconds to get out of the rack when rolling 72s happened because I had a 12-hour drive to my cousin's house. It took me 12 hours to drive down to my cousin, right? And I had the 12 to drive back, and I was tired. So I stayed at my cousin's while I was there. But anyway, this happens every fucking year. All right. That's not what she said. Well, thank you, Rob, but no. That took me 20 minutes. It is what it is. I'm just going to admit it. Where was I? This happens every year, right? Rolling 70. We called them rolling 72s. The Israelis probably called it something else. All right. I don't care. It happens every year. And that is exactly what Hamas was planning for. They knew, based on precedent, that everybody would be sent home if there was, hey, DJ, if there was any way at all to do it. And that's why they planned the attack when they did. How they did is a little bit more interesting. All right, the attack on the music festival in particular. Hitting the gate of a gated community was a little more interesting. The as yet unproven claim about the paragliders. I'm sorry, folks, I have not seen the paragliders be proved out. I have to admit, I would love to see the paragliders proved out. That yes, that actually happened. It hasn't yet. So it is what it is. Excuse me. DJ Rob, you guys missed it. This is my first one. Usually I've had 3 buds by now, and then I come onto the stream with one of these. But not today. I was running late. It is absolutely irresponsible to make a false allegation. Hi, Gulch. Especially when it's something that, yes, the allegation, the particulars happen to be true, but you're trying to turn it into something it wasn't. It's a case of somebody trying to say 2 + 3 = 4. No, 2 + 3 = 5, motherfucker. All right? Don't try to turn it into a 4. Don't take information, no matter how true it may be, and turn it into something it isn't and it never fucking was. That is one of the worst kinds of lies, and you all have heard me say it a million fucking times, right? I wish Sam were here right now. I'd have him do it. He can deliver the line so much better than me. Never fucking lie to me! Okay. Rob, good. I might be drinking some water later. I don't know. Do not take something that actually did happen and try to turn it into something that didn't. Are we good here? Did this finally fucking get through to the four of you that little rant was actually addressed to? I hope so. I really do. And the best part is, the four of you that little rant was addressed to aren't here right now. Or if you are, you're keeping real quiet. All right. So I hope we can move on. No, Macy, I was not. See, the Macy's trying to fuck with me here, guys. Okay, moving on. Under that same heading, turning things into something that they're not. This was a full-blown lie. I'm going a little out of order because I put them up as I discovered them, not as in order of importance. Okay. Somewhere out there in the universe, there is a BBC article. Hey, Pat, Wasp. Too many Pats already, so we got to make him Wasp. There is a BBC story where Hamas is confirming that Ukraine has sold them arms. Oh, yes, this is an incredible revelation. It included an interview with somebody who claimed to be an aid worker who estimated that about a third of the weapons being delivered to Ukraine are actually getting into the war, and that they don't know where the rest of them are going. There's only one problem with this story. It's completely fucking fraudulent. BBC has confirmed, no, we did not produce this story. Bellingcat, excuse me, has confirmed, no, we didn't produce this story either. Nobody has actually claimed accountability for it. Yet the story is still out there. People are still citing this absolutely fraudulent story. The best part, somebody who is often here marveled at how much, like the weapons to Ukraine, how much the Hamas weapons look like the ones headed to Ukraine. Ooh, that's a hot take, Macy. Macy is flat out saying it was probably CNN or MSNBC. Oh, that is a hot take there, Macy. Or Al Jazeera. For all of their other evils, Al Jazeera does not typically tell that kind of lie. They lie. Everything they say is a lie. But that's not their style. Let me put it that way. The story is 150% fraudulent. For God's sakes, please stop pushing this story. I'm sorry. Please stop pushing this this story, it's fake. Even Hamas has now come out and said, what the fuck are you talking about? Alpine, rest in his soul in peace. Colonel North passed away a few years ago. I'm going to submit to you people for consideration of this advice. If you hear a story that is at a level that you're having trouble believing it, or you don't, more to the point, you don't already know it's true, you might want to go back and find out if it's true. Just go back and see, wait a second. Is this thing that I've been told, is this real or not? Yeah, it's unfortunate. We could really use him right now. Gulch. I hope that one got through. I hope that message got through to who it needed to get through. All right. And now the big story. Good. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. Anyway, I'm right about where I'm supposed to be. The FBI reported earlier this week that non-specific threats to the U.S. have been reported. Now, non-specific reports is FBI speak for saying, yeah, we know they're going to do something somewhere. We just don't know what or where, nor how. They as much as came out and confirmed that, yes, mandatory carries crazy ass 917 theory, 917 theory. It's true, and we can't really do anything about it, but it's still true. I never promised you lottery numbers there, Rob, so don't bother. Or are you talking to DJ? He's probably talking to DJ. We love you, Susan. You cunt. All right. Now, I've been telling you guys for I've been screaming, shouting at the clouds for almost 10 years now that this attack is going to come. For those of you that have been around long enough to know, you're right. I said it was going to happen in 2017. It didn't happen in 2017. We know why. Okay, that thing happened. Great. So it just put it off for 6 years. That didn't change a whole lot. You know what did change? I expected 917 to be attacked against the United States. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen. All right. And the grandiose orchestra, a theater that was the attack on Israel, it was incredible, right? It was like an opera. Hey, Bernie, it was like an opera, a full-fledged fucking Ride of the Valkyries opera. If the paragliders part happened, I'm still not sure. I know it's possible. It's very, very possible. but I'm not sure it did happen. But that's okay. Doesn't matter if that part happened or not, to be honest with you. I expected it to be against the United States. And generally speaking, at about the same scale. All right. We're looking at about 20 attackers in Israel, 1,200-ish dead, versus 200 in the U.S., and about 8,000 was my number. 8 to 10,000 was my number. Okay. Well, that's pretty on par, to be honest. I also am going to say this the way it really is. Those Hamas fighters were better trained than I would think that the ISIS fighters would be. Maybe I was thinking of the wrong team in the field. Okay, fine. I'll accept that. May have made that mistake. Won't be the first. It won't be the last. My first was to think it would happen in 2017. I thought it would happen in 2017 because I thought Hillary Clinton would win the election and basically make sure it happened. And if it didn't happen on its own, let it happen, make it happen, and then blame ISIS and but whatever. I can live with the mistakes that I have made. All right, it's not like I said, sent everybody home on holiday routine on Sunday morning, knowing that the Japanese Imperial Navy had just gone radio silent last week, and having been told that a destroyer had engaged a target just outside of Pearl Harbor. All right. I told you there was going to be an attack. There was an attack. What's it going to take for people to start believing my weirdo conspiracy theory? Anybody. Rob, Bernie, Alpine, Macy, somebody, Wasp, fucking Shadow, get your ass back in here. You tell me, what is it going to take for people to start believing that maybe Kerry does know what he's talking about? Here's how I know what I'm talking about. This wasn't my theory. This was a theory that was floated for 4 fucking years before I got out of the Guard. Now, I never saw any documents marked top secret or official use only or officer safety information or anything like that. All right. I'd be out at the smoke pit with the SCPS and the PSCS. Yeah, PSCS and the PSC and the fucking FSC. All right. That's how I learned about this idea. I'd be at the smoke pit with the BM2. Hey, what do you think's going to come next? Well, everybody's been talking about this mass shooting idea. I don't know. Kind of makes sense to me. Here I am, BM3, right? Before that, Seaman. And I'm having BM2s saying, yeah, that makes sense to me. I'm having senior chiefs saying, if I was ISIS, specifically, the senior chiefs singled out ISIS because ISIS was the big player at the time. If I was ISIS, I'd do a bunch of mass shootings. And I do it. I don't want to reveal that information. She said a specific place that if she was ISIS, she'd do it. And leave it at that. And you know what? Her logic makes perfect sense. And here we are seeing exactly that scenario play out. What do you want me to say? It is exactly what I told you would happen. Not quite the way. I'm nowhere near the time. All right, it was 6 years later, and Israel versus the United States, but it is what it is. All right, I got to go back over the chat. Okay, Bernie, we'll see you when you get back. All right. So I had to back up quite a bit. What's so brilliant about using a bulldozer to take a fence out, Alpine Gulch? Well, the fact that it worked. That's what's brilliant. It worked, and it worked perfectly. Also, I don't quite know what this is about, but then again, there's a lot of what happened there that we're still trying to figure out. As long as I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Rob, unless you're talking about my act of treason about 2 seconds ago. Yeah, a minute ago. No, show it, motherfucker. Yes. Also, yes. And I'm guilty here. All right. I try to get past that bias, but it happens anyways. No, Rob, even that will not make them believe. Okay, Rob, I hope you come back later. And Bernie, I hope you come back later. Alpine says, Machiavelli Prince theory? No, not exactly. Well, since Alpine brought it up, favorites. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I found a copy, a translation of The Prince online. It's free. They are looking for donations to keep it going, but other than that, it is free. There it is in the chat for any of you that want to take a look. Banners, edits. Save and show. And there it is. For any of you that want to follow up later, I have $100 standing offer to whoever can tell me the chapter and verse. Just count the number of verses. Some of them are numbered. Some of them are not. That's okay. All right. Wherein Niccolo Machiavelli says anything to the effect that the prince must do things at times which, while distasteful, are necessary. Find me the quote. Oops. I turned off the comments. There we go. I actually read that book looking for that quote. My younger brother had a copy. I was shocked. All right. My supremely apolitical, boring weeb brother joins the Air Force and can read Machiavelli and has read Machiavelli. Really? Really? This would have been more of my older brother, except my older brother's biases were just, yeah, my older brother was extremely biased. Okay. Just leave it at that. You know why I've had that offer standing for, this is 25, 8 years now? Because the quote's not there. It's nowhere in that document. Go ahead and look. Prove me wrong. How dare I read an entire book looking for one quote? But I will tell you something that is in there. Chapter 3, paragraph 2. Chapter 3 is one of the few wherein the paragraphs are actually enumerated, at least in the version I gave you, the link I gave you. The chapter title is Are Fortresses and Other Things to Which Princes Often Resort Helpful or Hurtful? In the opening paragraph, he talks about things that princes have done. Build fortresses, raised fortresses, this, that, and the other thing. Paragraph 2, he opens up, never has a prince disarmed the people, but rather, having found them armed, always armed them. Go ahead. Check it right now. Macy, Alpine, I know two of you are still out there. Why don't one of you go, both of you? Porque no las dos. I'll go on over to that link I just gave and see if it does not say, quote, never has the prince disarmed the people, but rather, having found them disarmed, always armed them. I can answer this question, but it would require me to use words that I'm not allowed to use on Facebook. YouTube, rather. Suffice it to say, they have never and will never love Jews, period. You are correct, Gary. Yeah, that means Alpine just checked. You know how I know that line so well, folks? Because I've quoted it so many times that it is actually rings in my ear like an irritating noise. Right? Yes, I know the line. Ugh. It's like memorizing Genesis chapter 1. All right? You read it enough times and you're going to remember at least the first 2 lines. You hear it so many times you could hear it in your sleep, and it's actually annoying. Swear to God, hear the voices in my head. Swear to God, it sounds like they're snoring. Right? But anyway, It is actually kind of annoying to have read that line so many times. Had to read it out loud so many times as I'm preparing a response. I'm also going to put something else out there. Nobody in the chat today, and I'm getting a feeling that probably not going to be here today, have made a long series of comments to which I respond. Ukraine 2022 is Poland 1938. And now, Israel 2023 is France 1940. And those of you who demanded that we abandon support for Ukraine, and now I'm talking about you, Jim Jordan, and Robert Barnes, and several others, wanted this to happen. You wanted this attack to happen. You may not have necessarily wanted to happen exactly the way it did. Well, tough shit. It did happen the way it happened, and it is what you wanted. So congratulations. You got what you wanted. All right. I'm sorry. I got to catch up with chat. Oh. Alpine is correcting me. I checked it a long time ago when you asked, but remembered learning it in college when he was attributed to that misquote. I still don't know who actually did say that the king must do things on occasion which, while distasteful, are necessary. I started that book only looking for the quote so I could tell you what chapter it was and what paragraph it was. But as I was starting that, I was thinking, but other translations might read other ways. I might have this problem. Well, I'll just do the best I can. Well, it is what it is. Yes, actually, Warsaw Patriot has brought this up with me before. One of his ancestors was in Auschwitz. Actually, I don't remember if he brought Auschwitz up specifically. And another ancestor was at the Katyn massacre. That's when the Russians rounded up all of the Polish military officers, primarily the military officers, and some of the higher or more specific and important enlisted people, and just machine gunned them in some forest in Poland. So the only thing really, really spectacularly shocking last week was the use of rocket artillery. Now, in the context of Israel versus Hamas versus Israel, it actually does make sense. It's what they've been tossing across. The Hamas has been thrown across the border 30 plus years, right? Here in the U.S., carrying out 9017, I would think that they'd be more likely car bombs. Just the way it is. Ozzy? Both as a way to distract first responders, which obviously rockets were an extremely good way to do that, but more importantly, to just generally create chaos. It would also be a great way to get rid of the cars. Oh, excuse me, that has been a long time coming. Ozzy asks, why waste steel pipe for water? I'm not sure who the question's about there, because that's a very unusual question in general. And Alpine, you might want to talk to Fix Bayonets. I'm just saying. All right. Whew. Yeah, Macy, it usually doesn't do anything to me if I add vodka to it or Jim Beam or some other hard alcohol, but today it's bothering me because I had to race home. Okay. You know what? That needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed honestly, which means I'm going to fucking hate what I'm about to say. Warsaw Patriot said, Carrie, I'd also like to address that war creates money for our politician stock in the stock market, as well as prolonged benefits for themselves, like when we infiltrated the CIA in 2013 in Ukraine. Okay. That last little part about the CIA in 2013. I've heard this story before. It didn't hold up. What happened in 2014 was an actual peasant uprising against a puppet king. The rest of that's true. And I don't even like saying this. I really hate saying this, but yeah, war is good for business, as the Ferengi say. Rule 39, I think it is peace is good for business. Well, for those of you that have seen the film or read the book, only seen the film, own it. I own that failing in my personal life. War is good for business. All right. Well, no, that's not all war does, Wasp. But at the end of the day, yes, war is good for business. War got us out of the Great Depression, right? Build-ups for World War III kept us out of a second depression. And interestingly enough, the threat of a new war ended the Cold War, an economic war that Russia could not survive and therefore decided to quit the war. For those of you that are old enough to remember the Strategic Defense Initiative, the Star Wars program threatened to force the Russians to spend so much on their military budget that they could not have even fed their people. They ended up having to quit the Cold War. Ozzy, no. You need to back up a little bit and review the first part of this stream, I think. But with the Russian economy collapsed, completely fucking. I remember watching that time frame and thinking, my God, what the hell just happened? Right? Bars of soap for $20 in 1990s money. Right? Watching the coup, the 1989 coup. I believe it. I will make no. It was the. Excuse me. It was the 91 coup. And realizing just how fucking bad things had gotten in Russia. Yeah. Strategic Defense Initiative did that. Catching up. Hey, wait. All right. Macy points out Oscar Schindler, as in Schindler's List, made lots of money during World War II by manufacturing mess kits and then ammunition for artillery pieces. I know he was an industrialist and ran a manufacturing giant. I was not aware of what he manufactured. I don't actually care. He spent almost all of it rescuing Jews from camps. That's not exactly true. He spent a very small percentage of it rescuing Jews from camps, but he also used his factories as an excuse to keep as many out of the camps and therefore out of death camps as he could. He also cheated on his wife with every piece of pussy that walked through his factory. Not even joking. And people thought Star Wars was crazy at the time, says Alpine Gulch, and I want to bring it back. I actually do. I know that I don't know enough to know what I don't know exactly. And what I don't know is what needs to exist for it to work. For those of you that are too young to remember, which would be about a third of the chat so far today, the proposal was to put satellites in orbit that could shoot down ballistic missiles during, I think, the launch phase, but it might have been the transit phase, and basically neutralize the Soviets' nuclear arsenal before it could do any good. Maybe it must have been the transit phase because the risk of the falling missile creating a dirty nuclear bomb was too high. No, you know what? I'm not sure we actually gave a fuck at the time. I might be remembering it right. It might have been during Boo's phase. You know what? It's entirely irrelevant. The satellites actually proved to be, first of all, impossible technology in the 1980s. I'm just saying, it's not the 1980s anymore. It hasn't been in a while. And against, say, a rocket attack like we saw last week, may or may not have been effective. All right.
Okay, Wasp, that's because Defiance was loosely based on a true story. I don't know how loosely, but yeah, Defiance was based on loosely based on a true story. Oh, there we go. He said it himself. Personally think it was actually a conglomeration of 4 true stories. Okay, Macy. Don't forget to wipe. Okay, that beer might be hitting me a little bit harder than I thought it was. Just one beer. But anyway. Or maybe I'm just an asshole. I'm not sure that space-based weapons would have taken on the drone threat. It's a drone, yes, drone, and rocket threat like we are seeing in Ukraine and we saw last week. And it would require a lot of them. So I'm not sure that that's actually the best plan available, but I think a modernized version of Star Wars would have had a huge effect in both theaters. I also want to move on to the real point here. Iran is testing our resolve. If we back down in Israel, if we back down in Ukraine, they'll know that we are weak, that we don't care, and that we are going to be easy fucking pickings. They're going to pick off one ally at a time. They figure they've already picked off Ukraine, except that the little pissant, nothing words I can use on YouTube. I can say shit farmers on YouTube, right? Apple, I can say shit farmers. Actually rose up and fought back like they did in 2014. Just saying. The Israelis, right? Let's put it that way. That they thought were going to be just fucking crushed because they're divided against each other and it was going to be easy pickings again. I actually started shooting back, which is something they hadn't planned on. They hadn't planned on Israel saying, no, actually, fuck you. Crossing the border and killing Gazans to get at Hamas. I'm going to say this the way it really is, Gaza. Right? Either you picked your leaders and this is the choice you made, or your Hamas overseers have gone way too far in obeying their masters in Tehran's bidding, and it's time for a slave uprising. You figure out which one of those it is. I don't care. Take care of your own problem, or it's going to be taken care of for you, one way or another. I know some people do not like that. Some people can kiss my ass. All right, I gotta catch up on the chat. Warsaw Patriot points out that Israel has been at war for about 4,000 years now. Okay,
I'm going to leave the rest of that alone for now. Alpine Gulch says, slave uprising. Yeah, she's on the Hamas as overseers train. I have to admit, there's two trains. Either one of them could be the right one to where we're getting. I don't know. They both have. They're both written in some strange cuneiform that hasn't been used in about 2,000 years. So I got to figure out which train is the right one. Is Hamas overseers or are they legitimate leaders? Well, I guess at this point it doesn't really matter. All right, where am I in time? I got time for one more little rant. It's not a rant, it's more of a observation, I guess. Caucasian Sasquatch reached out to me. Joe Biden was in Israel today. He postulated the plausibility. And Squatch, I know you're watching this in some way, or shape, or form. And you're fuming a little bit. I get it. I don't care. He postulated the theory, or the hypothetical, that somebody was going to take a shot at Biden, successfully or not. Didn't actually matter. And that would be used as an excuse for the U.S. to go into Gaza and start killing people and breaking shit. Oh, excuse me. First of all, that didn't happen. All right. Joe Biden managed to get out of Israel alive. Great. Good. But at any rate, there were actually some problems, one of which was that his hypothetical held that Biden had to be incapacitated. He didn't, Squatch never actually said dead. He said that Kamala becomes the president now. Okay, well, be that as it may. I'm just going to put this out there the way it really is. Kamala, Joe, Donnie, fucking Barack. All right. Barack proves my case, by the way. The next guy, whoever that is, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. If you can't absolutely destroy everything in an area about the size of the county of Los Angeles in 6 weeks, first of all, you need to, as president of the United States, first of all, you need to resign. And second of all, you need to seriously consider seppuku as a career choice. Correction, you need to select it as a career choice because that's the only way it works out for you. Alpine, no. If you mean Squatch, no. No. You're thinking of fixed bayonets. Only no, fix is. And Brent passed away in 2020. So yeah, no, not even close. And if you guys knew what I knew, you would be This is backstage talk. It's not front stage talk. Sorry, guys. No, I can't say that. I can't say that on YouTube. I can't say it on Rumble. I can't even say it on BitChute. And BitChute actually doesn't have rules. Or if they do, I've never seen them. Correction. I've never seen them enforced. So, yeah. We love you, Susan, you cunt. Shh. It's not a secret, Alpine. It's not a secret at all. Where have you been? What? It's not a secret. Moving on. Okay. We're at an hour and 16 minutes. So I got to move on to, unless there's something that is burning your ass harder than wasp on Katya forest, which you can drop it in the chat. We're going to move on to the reading of Daetslov Act. Motherfuckers. There we go. We got to stop the screen. I'm sorry, guys. It is what it is. I'm going to present a different screen. You know, it would be cool if I could have like 4 screen shares all at the same time. That would make my life so much easier. Even if it was a premium. Whoa, boy. That was the wrong one. I am sorry. Present. Stop that screen. Yes. Oh, that one. Yes, screen share is, or StreamYard is sharing a window. Thanks, we know. All right, third-party exemptions. Any person either unable or unwilling to apply for a mandatory exemption may have said exemption applied to a court on their behalf. Any person for whom an exemption is requested by another party may petition the court to refuse said exemption, has the right to a hearing by an impartial jury. A judge, based on the testimony and evidence, may overrule the jury upon approval of the exemption by said jury and may not overrule a jury upon denial of said exemption. Okay. So, if you are unable to, which typically means you're Part G exemption, you're retarded. I didn't say there's anything wrong with it. All right. It just is what it is. You can't speak. And it could be a medical exemption like a coma, which if a cop wants to write a ticket against a guy in a coma, well, okay. All right. But anyway, or unwilling, somebody like me, I would never willingly make my own exemption application. Not because I'm mandatory carry and that would look bad, but because something up here doesn't entirely work right. Okay. Now, I am sufficiently together enough to understand the things that don't work right and avoid those. Right? Pepper spray, while I will do it, I understand. I'm a little too quick to pull the trigger. A handgun, I'm a little bit more hesitant. I understand these facts about myself, and I can sleep very well every night knowing which lines I'm willing to cross and how easily. Right? I am unwilling to make that application. Somebody, I'm going to pick on Alpine Gulch because she's in the chat, goes to a judge and says, Your Honor, mandatory carry he's retarded, he's mentally ill, whatever it is. One should be considered a fucking retard and eligible for their own Part G exemption if they think that somebody having been convicted of a felony is going to make their own application. That's not going to happen. And if they do make the application, the judge might want to consider a different clause. We'll talk about that when we get there. Whatever the case may be, an application has been made for somebody who is unable or unwilling to make that application for themselves. If they are unable to make the application, they are unable to object to the application. If they are unwilling to make the application, they may still be able and willing to say, no, Your Honor. Okay, I have PTSD. I'm a little loose on the trigger with the pepper spray. And yes, I do sleep with brass knuckles on. I'm not a threat to society. And this jack-off joke is lying to you. There's a huge difference. I could then apply to the judge and say, no, Your Honor, I'm able to handle the duties of everybody else, and I'm ready to prove it by whatever means the judge requires. I am entitled to a jury trial. The jury is the first decider. The jury, if they say, no, we are not going to grant this exemption, it's done. That's it. It's over. If the jury says, you know what? Yes, we are granting this exemption. The judge can turn around and say, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you for your time. You are now dismissed. Wait until they walk out the door and say, you know what? I'm setting aside the jury verdict. Mr. Carey, go. Get out of my courtroom. These proceedings are closed with the words, case dismissed. The judge has authority. He does not, however, have the authority to reverse them if they say, no, we do not believe Mr. Carey is actually a threat to society. We are dismissing. We're ruling in favor of the applicant in this case. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. You are dismissed. And the judge could say, you know what, Mr. Carey, I actually do think the jury's wrong, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on you. The judge has that. All right? Y'all heard mandatory carry of all people saying, yes, the judge has the right to say, I'm keeping an eye on you because I don't trust you. Okay, Your Honor, keep an eye on me. I give a fuck. When you catch me slipping, all right, you can say something to me then. Until then, you can kiss my ass. Now, is there anything else here I should cover? Nope. We got it all. We actually got it all fairly quickly. Yay! Oh, sorry, guys. I am going to pop that back up because I forgot to change. Yeah. Fuck. Forgot to change it over. It can't be right. There it is. Forgot to change the layout. That one. All right, there it is, guys. I'm going to leave that up for a second while I back up the chat so I can get everybody in here. Okay. All right, I think we're good here. Stop screen. Present. Share screen. Put that back up. Oh. There. There we go. Now I'm going to review the chat for my own sake. People thought it's based on, Isaac. Warsaw Patriot has zero respect for any of them. And not in Discord. App has a Google or crap. They have to abide by the rules. Alpine Gulch does not want me to have an exemption, so I want her on my jury. I don't recommend you waive the jury because that creates a two-step process. The jury gives you a result you don't want. You could appeal straight to the judge, and basically you get a check and balance against a rogue jury. All right, but the jury is also a check and balance against a rogue judge. For everybody to get it wrong all at the same time, you have to live in San Francisco or Seattle. Okay. And Ozzy points out there are other sites besides Discord. Gilded is one of them. Or to be perfectly blunt, there's only so many I know of. Telegram, but I fucking hate Telegram. I'm trying to extricate myself from Telegram and get it off of my phone because it's fucking terrible. I hate it. Where are we now? Really? God damn it. I want to show you this window that I'm looking at now. Because every so often the StreamYard will shift the screen around so I can't see how long I've been on. Okay. I'm doing some math in my head. Back off, guys. This is going to hurt. Hour and 10 minutes. Okay, good. Confirms what I thought I knew. All right. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Food and water. I've said this a million times. I'm going to say it a million more. Have a water bottle at your desk, at your station, at your work site, if you work construction. Have it where you can get to it. Fill it on Monday. Leave it filled all week. Dump it on Friday. Refill it Monday morning. A week's worth, a week old water is not going to hurt you. Not in the least. Right? It's perfectly fine. It may taste a little funny. That's it. This is my old boot camp bottle. I don't use this at work anymore. I have a 2-liter water bottle that I have at work, and it's awesome. And it also takes fucking forever to fill, which is why I take it home. I dump it Friday morning, right? Yes, that means I'm running a risk Friday if there's an emergency. Okay, fine. It is what it is. And then I refill it Sunday evening. And food packets. Okay. I have now a half a dozen of the 400 calorie version of these at my station at work. You know what? I eat them during the week. They're good. They're good. They're good enough to get me through the day. All right. Then at the end of the week, I order some more. Actually, I have like a half dozen at my station. All right. I have another half dozen here at home. Right. They're actually rubber banded together. The ones here at home, they're rubber banded together. Next Monday, I take them with me. I'm going to put them at my station, little box that I have hidden at the back. Right. Just going to slip them in there. They sit there quietly during the week. I take them out one at a time and I eat them. All right. And they're great. No, they taste terrible, but they work. And they work very, very well. Right. And then if an emergency comes up, I'll have 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. If I even have 2, that's 800 calories. That's basically a half a day. All right. I could walk from work around, past the casinos. All right. Come all the way back through that backcountry dirt road and get home and still be fine. I'm fine. And that's the point. With that 2 liters of water over that 6-hour hike, that is a 6-hour hike. That sucks. But I'll be perfectly fine. I'll be safe and alive, and I will get home that way. What more could you ask for? By the way, a link to these is in the community tab. You might have to dig down a little bit because it is a little bit older. Okay, I missed something. AARP is giving away shit hit the fan bags. I'm not old enough for AARP yet, but I'll ask Papa Carey and see what he says. Alpine Gulch apparently has decided that she's going to sign up for AARP. $12 for a year just to get the bag. Shit hits the fan bag. $12. Alpine, double check and make sure that you're not committed to sign up for 5 years. If you're only then committed to sign up for a year, I might be with you. All right. Water freezes. It does. Where I work, it has never happened that my water bottle froze. I guess it could happen. It would require a really, really cold night. Where I work with hot plastic, right? A very low temp mini oven. Hotter than a God damn it, Clinton banned him. Not My Little Pony oven. That lamp heated oven. Girls loved them. From like the 60s until the 90s when Clinton banned them because supposedly somebody hurt herself with them, but that's bullshit and everybody knows he's full of it. Easy bake. Thank you, Squat. Excuse me, Alpine. Easy bake oven. All right. It's a little bit hotter than an easy bake oven. All right. Not at, yes, thank you. Not as hot as a real oven. It runs at about 150 degrees on average. I can just put my water bottle in my oven if it's actually frozen. Say 10 minutes, it should be fine. Also, that's never happened to me, so I'm not sure what to do there. We love you, Susan, you cunt. I will point out though, if you are in the evacuation phase, you're just getting home now, or you're just going home, you know, fuck the job, fuck the city, fuck it all, right? I'm walking away. Pack your bottle into your clothes. It won't freeze that way. It might heat up too much. Might cool you off a little bit. Macy, come on, man. Get with the program. The proper response is you cunt. One word, by the way. I'll drop it in the chat just so you can see exactly what you're supposed to write it. There. Oh, fuck you, YouTube. Fuck you, YouTube. We love you, Susan, you cunt. You fucking cunt. Okay, Macy, I understand now. Thank you very much for bringing that to my attention. I appreciate that. All right. If there's no burning business, I am actually going to drop a link to the StreamYard into the chat so you guys can come backstage. Because I know there's always a couple of people that want to ask a question but didn't want to ask it in front of everybody. I guess Susan's tired of being called a cunt, which is exactly what she is. And yes, I'm well aware it's not Susan anymore. I don't want to hear it. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this week up. Next week should be a regular stream. The one after that may be a premiere because I'm trying to get set up an interview with Papa Carey again for a couple of his Vietnam stories that his Vietnam and one of his psych hospital and one of his Vacaville stories. Papa Carey was a nurse at one of the psych hospitals and later Vacaville State Penitentiary. I think you need to hear these. And there is nothing like, Susan, I can't fucking do anything with this. What the fuck is this shit? All right. What is this? Nobody likes it. Yeah, watch this, guys. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. See that? Okay. There's a couple of hearts. Are you going to see them later? No, you're not. So I'm going to pin that. There you go. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for tonight. There might be a premiere this month with Papa Carey. I hope. All right. In the meantime, yes, Gulch, I got it. I understand. Thank you for trying. Keep calm. Keep calm and mandatory carry on, because 917 just hit Israel and it's coming here sooner or later. Good night, everybody. Yes, Alpine, please do.